Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Here we are for race 6 of season 12 for the Isrl GR3. We're back again with the Pro Division. Alright, where are we? We're at Spa. Evening, Hansa. Right, so the rules for Spa. We are going to, at approximately 5 PM local time, do a stuck check and then a one lap no holds barred race, and then approximately 5 past ish, very ish, depending on how quickly people finish, we will go into the sprint, well, qualifying and sprint. Right, then we will have after the sprint a short, well, 5 or 10 minute break, depending on whether people need their number onesies or number twosies. And then at approximately 20 to 6 this afternoon, the feature race will begin, which will be, I suppose I better tell you all of this, will be a 16 lap race around the Spa circuit. Tyres are on 4, fuel is on 5, initial fuel will be on 90%. For those interested, the time of day for the feature race will be 5:30 or 17:30 hours, whichever way you want to look at it. Right, so I've got 7 minutes. There's only one thing I need to do, isn't there? That's get my butt out on track and see if I can very quickly, I guess, do a an outlap. Right, let's just let Vit know what it is I'm going to be doing. Damn it. Right, so 5 minutes. Even I can lap Spa in can I lap Spa in 5 minutes? We're about to find out. Right, so down the main straight towards La Source, which obviously I'm not really going to be able to do because I am going to be facing, or rather, I'm not going to be able to do that. Right, and here we come down to Eau Rouge, which I usually suck at, so this will be fun. Into Radion. Down the Kemmel Straight. I'm not doing an in-car one today because, well, why does it feel weird? Oh, God, blimey. Right, okay. I was going to try and be all brave. Right, through Lecombe into Malmedy. And down towards Brussels. Do you pronounce it Brussels, Brussels or Bruxelles? That'd be an interesting thing to find out, I reckon. And then the double, well, I call it double douche, but it isn't. Oh dear, right, I've totally lost where I am on track now as well. Right, this should be Campus and then Stovel up. Oh, I'm doing exceptionally bad this week. Right, on to the Paul Frere corners. Around Blanchemont, which is this corner here. and down into the aptly named chicane. No, too heavy on the throttle there. Ooh, really too heavy on the throttle there. Yeah, do you see why I'm not in the race now? Alright, just for giggles, I'll take you around Le Saux with my damaged front right, but that's okay. It'd be wrong of me not to do Le Saux. Alright, so there you go. That's your full lap of Le Saux, of Spa even. Let me just quickly let Vit know that I am done-did. With 2 minutes to spare. Hello. It was never going to be a fast lap, let's be honest. But just wanted to give you a quick lap around the track. So what will happen is now we will have a stuck check. Evening, Mikey. Alright, as we watch Vit go round and round and round. So, looking at my clock on the wall, we've got about a minute before he starts. So, what can we tell you about the sprint race? The sprint race this afternoon will be 5 laps. Now, who do I expect to win the sprint race? Oh, here we go, 7 seconds. So, qualifying and then Ramfest 1 lap thingy. Right, 5 red lights. As soon as they change to green, away we go. I'm a little disappointed. I've just noticed there's only 9 runners. Oh, as Vic gets taken out in turn 1. That was cheeky. Alright, so Hat Maris in front for the 1 lap sprint. But of course, Pal can if he wants to. Who was that taking a very interesting line there? I'm going to presume that was Athens. I'm going to save that for the end of the race. Oh, as Pal puts Matt into the grass. There's a rather unusual message on the side of Matt's Peugeot there. As Vic takes a very interesting line across. Right, round Bruxelles. Oh, down to the left-hander and then into double gauche. Obviously, hands are going a lot quicker than I normally would around this circuit. Somebody going very wide in the background there. Right, a lot of experience points. Hands with 1.5 experience, Racer Toe 0.7. Let's just quickly see who's in last place. Okay, there is no 9th racer. Fair enough. So Raiden is technically last. Fair enough. Alright. Is what it is. So Racer and Hansa. With Athens technically in 3rd. This is just a silly race, this one. 1 lap, no holes barred. Oh, hands are getting spun. And Racer taking a what looked like a very interesting line there. Hands are scrubbing. Everybody trying to scrub. Oh, Malone not even bothering. Alright, so just wait for Vit and Raiden. Raiden in his silly car. This will not be the car that he usually drives. His livery will be different. If you just cross the line, please, fella, so we can get this underway, that'd be beautiful. Thank you very much, sir. Right, so, for some unknown reason, Pal dropped out there. And somebody is furiously soaring in the outback somewhere. Hopefully my mic don't pick that up. Right, so now we will jump, or pretty much jump straight into the sprint race. He says dramatic pause now. There we go. That's Vit changing the settings. Everybody jumping back on track. So let's have a look. So who do we have so far? We have Walters, we have Racer Tay, Malone, Athens, Pal, Raiden and Hansa so far. There you go, Walters, Malone, Athens and Hansa in Group 1. Everyone else in Group 2. Just in case you can't read that on the stream, it does say start in 1 minute. Oh, I'm guessing, even though he's going the wrong way, Raiden did not want to do that. You know, he is now facing the right way. Right, here we go for the qualifier. Alright, and it will be a 1 lap qualifier, so you'll have your out lap, then 1 lap, and then the next group will come out. So as we can see, first out the pits is Young Athens, followed by Walters, Malone, and it, come on, out the pits we go. Hansa, there we go. Right, so they get their out lap and then they get 1 fast lap, and then Group 2 will be released. Well, Group 2 will be released once they're about halfway round their fast lap, I do believe. Well, I was hoping that I could find some information on last season so we can see who won here, but I can't find it. It doesn't seem to be there, which is a shame. And I've literally just noticed that I've put GR3 in the title. What a silly person I am. I'll just very quickly change that. There we go. Right, so Hans are now on Athens, Malone, Walters and Hans are now on their fast lap. Let's see what they are capable of. Oh, Athens already with a 1 second penalty. That's not going to help you out there, fella. There you go, Group 2 has just been released. Like the ravenous dogs they are. So the first ones from Group 2 is Hat Maris, Racete, Raiden and Pal. I'm going to presume that 9th place is indeed Vit, because I can't see his name on the list. And there's only 9 riders, so... Now hopefully Athens gets rid of that penalty. Fairly sharpish like, although I don't think that is a rule in this particular version of GR3. So Athens now coming up to the chicane, and this will hopefully give us an idea of where everybody is going to be. Hopefully he remembers to scrub that penalty. Evidently he isn't going to. So Athens with the 217, Malone with the 215, Walters with, ooh, that was a naughty one, with a 245, ouch. Hans with the 248. So we're on board now with Hat Maris. So the Group 1 guys should get out of the way and let the Group 2 guys get some racing on. There's Malone just parked down at the hairpin on turn 1. Right, now everybody should be pretty much on their quali lap now, as Matt goes through Eau Rouge and Radion and onto the Kemmel Straight. Flashing the lights a lot. I'm going to presume that Matt is a pad racer. Be quiet. I will not be quiet, sir. I don't care how many times you got it written on your car. Alright, so obviously as they filter round, I've got a funny feeling that Matt might actually go fastest. Malone sat in pole position at the moment with a 2:15.1. Only 5 laps for the sprint race this afternoon. Alright, so let's see how well Matt does as he comes through the chicane. Alright, well, Malone keeps on to first place. Oh, Racer Tay jumping into second. Oh, it's all over the place now. Where is everyone? Alright, so Racer Tay with a 2:15.13. Raiden with a 2:15.139. Pal with 2:16, Vit with a 2:15.2. Right, so as soon as I'm going to presume it's Walters who needs to get across the line, and then we will get straight on to the sprint race and then have a short break, 5 to 10 minutes before the main event. Everybody going around at a nice stately pace as the computer's going to make us wait for the last 30 seconds. Alright, so a quick confirmation of qualification. In first place Raiden, then Malone, Racer Tay, Vit G, Gotta Learn to Read Quicker, Matt Harris, Hansa, Pell, Athens and Walters. Alright, so now we have a 5-lap sprint race. Obviously the most of these so far has been won by Raiden, who seems to be really good at the sprint, but we will see what we can see. 5 red lights, and away we go for the 5-lapper. Racer taking a phenomenal start off the line there. Alright, everybody got round the first corner without too much incident, I hope. Malone's a little bit wide. Right, so everybody seems to be behaving. There's a little bit of elbows out as they go through a rouge. Radian looking pretty clean. And we have a train forming, which is not always a good thing, as Raiden just gets past, but cleanly gets past as well. That was quite a shock. I wasn't expecting him to be able to pull that off. But Raiden has regained his lead from Racer Tay. Everybody seems to be behaving themselves. I'm liking this. What happened there? What happened there, boys? Alright, so Pell was in 4th place. Malone maybe getting a little bit friendly out of that corner down into this hairpin. Please change the camera angle, thank you. Oh, Malone going for the gap. and then just losing it by the looks of that in the corner, taking himself and Pal out of contention. Alright, so it's still Raiden from Racer Tay, Vitamin G in third, Hansa in fourth, Walters in fifth, well done Walters by the way, Athens in sixth, Hat Maris in seventh, Pal in eighth, and completely forgot who's going to be in ninth, Malone. Right, Raiden and Racer Tay literally bumper to bumper. Go by the old saying, you couldn't get a Isrl paper between them. But Raiden should, I hope, hold his line. Yep, and Racer Tay does the decent thing and just backs out a little bit. It would be a terrible shame to throw the race away at the end of the first lap. So we have a nice little group of three now, as Raiden, Racer Tay and Vit G are literally buggering off up the road. Then a group of four. In that group of four we have Hansa, Walters, Athens and Hat Maris. But Racer Tay at the moment is literally all over the back of Raiden. He's given him absolutely no room for error whatsoever. If Raiden makes the smallest mistake, Racer is definitely going to pounce on him. So the two boys right at the back of the pack look like they're trying to help each other now. They're nice and tight. Malone's right on the back of Pal. But obviously the battle we want to watch is the one up front, the little three-way battle we've got going here. We're about halfway round lap 2. And these three fellas are literally disappearing on everyone. Now, Raiden has, very briefly, pulled a half-second lead out from Racer Tay. Raiden, as we know, with the sprint races is very good. He does seem to excel at the sprint race, where it's basically, if in doubt, flat out. Well, I don't hate to quote Colin McRae at all, but it is very good to see three boys racing at the front of the pack. There's no change there at the moment, so let's see what is happening in the little four-way battle back here. Hansa, Athens, Walter and Hat. Oh, is Athens going for a little no, dive bomb? No, too far back, okay. As Walters gets a little bit tight on that corner there, that could potentially go against him. He may get a penalty if he cuts that too much. So Athens now in the prime real estate as they come down to Eau Rouge and Radion for the third time. Again, Walt is taking a very unusual line through there. He'll be lucky if you don't get a penalty for that. It's normally not that forgiving. Athens has made the move on Hansa. They do seem to be doing a little bit of a break where they're splitting into two groups of two, ever so slightly. Everything looking nice and clean and smooth as they come round the hairpin. And at the front, it looks like Racer Tay is getting under a little bit of pressure from Vitamin G. Oh, Racer Tay going wide there. Very wide. He'll be lucky with the way Vit's driving lately. Racer Tay will be lucky if he can get back into slipstream range. As these two fellas now are literally just buggering off down the road. They're not waiting for anyone. And let's be honest, if you're in a race, why would you wait for anyone? Right, so in the little mini pack in the middle we have Athens from Hansa, from Walters, from Hat Maris. Athens actually opening up a little bit of a buffer for himself here, almost within range of Racer Tay. So that little corner where Racer went a little bit wide, that's obviously unsettled him a little bit, and Athens is obviously in prime position now to take advantage of that. I've just noticed that Malone has also got past Pal. Not sure what's going on with Pal. So Malone had already passed him way before the final chicane. And then I'm guessing he just got on the loud pedal a little bit too quick. Oh, missed his braking marker. Okay. Right, so your race order as of the halfway point on lap 4. We have Raiden, Vitamin G, Racer Tay, Athens, Hansa, Walters, Hat Maris and Malone as Pal leaves the room. So we have now only got 8 racers. 8. Count them, look, they all fit on one scoreboard now. Alright, so Vitamin G chasing down Raiden, making a little bit of headway towards him as well. How well is Racer Tay holding off the mid-pack? He's actually doing a fine job. Athens, Handa, Walters and Hat still in that little group before, though strung out. Still potentially. Yeah. It's just in the slipstream range there. Oh, no, I stand corrected. I was looking at the wrong one. Ha ha ha. Alright, Walters is indeed just outside the slipstream range, but good couple of corners, he'll pull that back, I'm sure. Right, Raiden has slightly extended his lead over Vit, so it is looking like quite a comfortable win for Raiden. But then I did say Raiden is good at the sprint races. One thing I did also notice is that I've got no information on the bottom part of the screen, so you can't see lap times. Right, so Raiden coming down to Lecombe for the last time. Going purple as well at the end of Sector 1. Now, as you probably noticed by now, I am on my own in the commentary booth, but with only 8 races it shouldn't be that hard a race to follow, so hopefully I don't put my foot in it too many times. So, Raiden coming through Les Fans into Campus. As he takes the right-hander of canvas into Stavlot. And then the Paul Frere corners. Or Paul Frere curb, actually, is the literal translation. Round Blanchimont. Or rather, round into Blanchimont. I always call that corner too early. And then down into the chicane for the final time. Just cutting that corner just enough. So there you go, Raiden takes the sprint race. A cheeky little flash of his lights. With Vitji in second, Racer Tay in third, Athens in 4th, Hansa in 5th, Walters in 6th, Hat Maris in 7th, and Malone just coming through the chicane now to round us off in 8th place. Now, whether or not they'll want a steward's inquiry over that little incident in the hairpin with Malone and Pal, that will have to be decided. But congratulations to Raiden. Pole position, fastest lap and clean race. Well done, fella. I'm liking the helmet too. Right, so traditionally we have a short break now. And we'll have to see how long Vit is going to let us have. Right, let's have a quick look at the race results. Alright, there's confirmation of Raiden's fastest lap with a 2:14.918. So Raiden from Vit, Racer, Athens, Hansa, Walters, Matt and Malone. Right, we will now have a short interval where other people will be selling ice cream, but not me. Okay, so it's going to be a 10-minute break. Wow, okay. Right, I suppose there's no excuse really. I could do a few laps myself now, couldn't I? Alright, before I get silly and actually jump out on the track again, as you can see, the settings for this race will be a rolling start with reverse grid order based on previous race results. Alright, medium tyres, I believe softs are available as well. As I stated earlier, tyre wear is on 4, fuel depletion is on 5, and the starting fuel will be 90 litres. Now, what car shall I take out? Not the Mazda. What do we have? Shall we take a McLaren out? I haven't driven a McLaren in a while. And it's in my old livery as well, so that'll be a bit of nostalgia for us. Oopsie. It don't like the fact that I'm on super softs. So yeah, we'll take a trip down nostalgia lane. Let me just quickly save that replay. And we'll get some practice laps in for myself, if nothing else, just to get... Let's make sure traction control is off in this car. I actually can't remember the last time I drove the McLaren. Let's find out if I'm still as bad as I used to be. So, down through Eau Rouge into Radion, lifting off a little bit so that I don't go too wide on the way out. Oh, that struggled. Alright, so predictions for... Oopsie, that's too fast. Predictions for the main race. I'd like to actually chat, but I think there's only 2 people watching, so... Obviously I'm expecting Raiden to do well. I actually think that Racer Tay was looking very good around this track in the sprint, so I'm expecting him to do some quite good things in the main event, in the feature race. Obviously Vit and Athens and Hansa. And I forgot to look where I was going. That's alright, I'll just extend this corner. I should have stayed in the Porsche. McLaren not wanting to grip in the corner there. Don't start drifting. It's very naughty. I appear to be chasing a car that's being driven in reverse. I accept your challenge, sir. Oh, there he goes. And it's Walters. Meep meep. Meow. Oh, double tapped. Not the best idea I've ever had. Alright, so in the McLaren, let's see what I can do. Oh, might get a penalty for that. That was a bit cheeky and naughty and stuff. Oh yeah, definitely. Wow, alright. 1 second penalty for that. Didn't like me at all, did it? Need to learn to turn in earlier for that corner as well, I reckon. Who's this up my chuff? Hat Maris. Oh yeah, that's not gone well. Let's let Matt go past. Oh look, he's destroying my braking markers and whatnot. I need them. Get off the curb. Need to be braver in that corner as well, really, don't I? Alright, so there you go, there's my pathetic attempt. My 2:28 one. Which, let's be honest, is frankly disgusting. Okay. Let's get back into the Porsche. You'll notice, by the way, my Porsches, my GR3 Porsches, have very specific designs on them now. All will be revealed at a later time, just not now, for I have a secret that I will share, but I'll do that in a separate video. I will be back in a couple of minutes. Right then, so any moment now, Vit will start the main event, the feature race. 16 laps, I believe. 16 laps of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. As we watch Malone come up to the chicane. Rather abruptly, hanger left. Let's see if he improves on his time. No, he must have had an off while I was myself off doing whatever it was I was doing. So now we are literally just waiting for young Mr. Vitamin G to start. And with 8 racers, I'm not promising this is going to be an exciting race, guys. Over 16 laps. This has the potential to not be as exciting as I want it to be. Let's just put it that way. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. The main event. The thing that we all turned up for, let's be honest. 16 laps. Around Spa. Let's see what we can do with this. Obviously Raiden is now starting at the back because he won the sprint. And it's a rolling start as well. Let's see what livery he's in for this. Yeah, you see he's no longer in his purple car, he's now in the black and green. So it'll be interesting to see where everything goes. Alright, so here we go, ladies and gentle dweebs. Obviously, it being a rolling start, they're nicely spaced out for the first corners, so the turn 1 meme should not be a thing. And obviously from a commentator's point of view, having only 8 races, this is going to be easy to commentate on. Hopefully they'll all catch up with each other and everything will go swimmingly. Raiden getting very close to a penalty there. So, not much is going to really happen until lap 2, where everybody starts to sort themselves out. Raiden seems to be quite a bit back there. I'm not sure what happened there, but I want to have a look. What happened that made Raiden and Vit fall off the pack? Right, so Raiden goes for the move. Everything's looking lovely jubbly. Right. Okay, I'm mildly confused by that. Anywho, let's get back to the front. I'll have to check the replay of the race and see if I can't report on what happened on there. So what was that? Lap 1 at, I think that is, yeah, the doubles. Alright, so Malone at the moment holding his own. And there are a couple of packs forming now. So, as they come through the chicane, we have Malone in first, Matt in second, Walters in third, and Hansa's having a look down his inside. Racete in fifth, because Athens just served a penalty. Then we have Vit G and Raiden bringing up the rear. So Hansa just putting a move on Walters there. That was a well-timed camera change. So the question has to be asked there, was Walters holding Hansa up a little bit on the outlap, or on lap 1 rather? It looks like Racete is living up to his name and getting rather racy against Walters. We've got a bit of a braking battle here. He's got straight past. So has Athens. Right, oh, Walters getting a little bit feisty there. Hold on to it, lad. That car was definitely up your side. You should have been able to see that in your radar. But we have a little bit of a scrap going on here, boys. You know, obviously Racer's not going to be happy with 4th place. He's going to want a podium position for this. And as such, he's not going to wait. Oh, he was in prime real estate there. He still is. As long as he can stay. Oh no, he's backed out just for this section of corners. Lefang and Campus, isn't it? And then Stavelot, or Stavelot, however you want to pronounce it. But he's obviously quicker than Hansa at the moment. He is on the softs, which I'm a little confused with. Normally what they do, they start the race on the mediums, then switch to the softs. But I'm guessing Racer just wants to get down the road and get away from the pack, which he has potential to do here. as they keep swapping and changing. Racer going very wide there. Athens looks like he's going to try and outbrake him for the chicane. I'm not... Ooh, that's not the place to do it, boys. Walters and Raiden going side by side through the chicane as well. That is a dangerous place to be driving with your elbows out, boys. And now we literally have a drag race down to turn 1 again. Walters holding off Racer Tay. Racer isn't going to sit on his laurels for this, though. He's going to have another drag race down through Eau Rouge and Radion. Not a place I would normally want to try and put a move on somebody, but Racer may potentially get a penalty for that. He was very offline. Yep, both Walters and Racer Tay having to serve penalties, which means they're going to fall off the back of the pack a little bit. I think Racer has he? No, he has indeed dropped out of the slipstream. So he's now going to have to chase down Vitamin G. Hansa is now under threat from both Athens and Raiden. Raiden having a bit of a stonking start. After all of that, what could have been potential calamity at the beginning of the race, he's now fought his way back into 5th place. And these boys are literally having a ding-dong. It's not going to be much longer before a move is made in this group. Indeed, Raiden has gone wide. Can he hold it round the outside? Obviously it'll become the inside for the next corner. No, he's already backed out. So is he doing that just so that he can get a better line? Down into the double. It's not the double, it's Campus and Stavlot again. What is wrong with me tonight? But these guys now literally all over each other's bumper, and Vit G and Racer Tay are about to become part of this battle. This is going to get a little bit spicy. Is Athens threatening to have a look there as Raiden pulls out to get alongside Athens. Oh, this is literally almost too much for me to bear. Athens, oh, a little bit of contact there, going a little bit too deep. My folder's falling off. These guys are racing. Everything's happening right now. Right, so it's still Athens, Hansa and Raiden, and Vit G is putting Raiden under a bit of pressure into turn 1. And Raiden going very wide there and taking out the braking markers. So Raiden dropping down to 7th, but obviously he's still in the slipstream of this main pack. Malone and Matt Harris have absolutely buggered off down the road. And that literally is the camera shot you want to see. Everybody coming through nice and cleanly, one after the other, as Racer Tay is putting himself a little bit wide, getting into Hansa's slipstream. And that will potentially pull him past Raiden and everybody else. Indeed it has. He's got the inside line, but he's gone very deep. Athens going very deep as well, having to give up the position to Hansa there. Yeah, unfortunately he picked up a penalty for that as well, so that's going to potentially hurt him as he gets rid of it as quick as he can. It is only half a second, so it's not going to be too bad. So we now have Hansa, Raiden, Vit G, Racer Tay and Athens all in the same battle. Poor Walters is falling off the back. These guys are literally going to start fighting hammer and tongue now before they come in for their first pit stop. The worrying thing is that everybody in the chasing pack now is on mediums, except for Racer Tay, who's on his softs. And those softs are going to be looking pretty old very quickly. Compared to the guys on mediums, that is. I should basically clarify that, shouldn't I? Right, so Raiden chasing down Hansa now. As they come onto the Paul Frere curbs. There could potentially be a move just into the final chicane there as they come round Blanchemont for the 4th time. Athens falling off a little bit, but Racer Tay and Vit leaving nothing to the imagination there. Racer Tay going around the outside, which becomes the inside. Right, so Racer, Raiden, Racer, and I think that was Vit all coming in. So racers coming in to get on the mediums. Vit and Raiden coming in to get onto their softs. Now we've done 4 laps at 90%. They're going to be potentially sticking in a full tank of fuel as well. If that is the case, if they do some very, very careful fuel management, there's potential that they can race this to the end. Let's find out who made it out the pits first. It was indeed Raiden from Racer Tay and Vitamin G. So Racer now 12.5 seconds behind Walters, but already making up time. And Racer Tay now on his medium tyres, I believe. Let's quickly check. Yeah, Racer Tay now on his medium tyres, but Raiden is on the softs. And we know that Raiden is a quick driver. So is Racer Tay, but he is on the harder compound tyre. Now if he can stick with Raiden on the straights, he does stand a chance of being dragged along. But it's going to be a hard push for him. So there we go, Raiden getting out of the all-important suck zone and starting to pull away from Racer Tay now. Tay is going to have quite a hard job to catch Raiden now Raiden's on his softs. And I could be wrong, but it looks like, yep, Hansa and Athens, who stayed out for that extra lap, not really battling each other, but potentially coming in on this lap for a new set of boots. Obviously their softs now are going to last longer. Oh no, Athens is actually on softs. That has shocked me. I would not have thought Athens would have been on softs for that. Right, Walters on the medium. Still got quite a lot of fuel. He may be hoping to hold out, sit on these mediums for as long as he can. Potentially do a one-stopper. But obviously that's something we will have to see. But Raiden is absolutely clawing away at the time advantage now. It's down to 9.5 seconds. As Athens, Matt and Hans are all coming to the pit. So Athens will be coming out on the mediums, Matt on the softs, Hans are on the softs. And Malone is absolutely buggered off down the road on his medium tyres. Having an absolutely wonderful race right now. Trying to watch a mini-map as well, make sure that everybody gets around turn 1 okay. Although most of them are coming out of the pits, so they're not really driving, it's the computer doing it for them. Ooh, that sounded very slidey. Because it was. So Malone now with an absolutely phenomenal lead. Excuse me, he's played an absolute blinder on this one. Now all he has to do is nurse it round to the pits, get onto his softs, and obviously he's going to have the freshest set of softs now. Now I don't know whether or not you can make the softs last 10 laps, but if the potential is there, Malone's already got this sewn up. Although, commentator's curse, I've probably just ended his race for him. And obviously we don't know where everybody's going to be properly on track until Walters and Malone actually come in and get their pit stops done and sorted. So everybody at the back now has had their pit stops. Will Malone come in? He's got to come in really, because he's basically got no fuel left in that car. He's definitely... I don't think he's going to be able to squeeze out another lap. No, indeed, he is coming in the pits now. So let's see what this does to the order, because he's got 4% fuel, so that's going to be a lot of fuel he's going to need to take on. But then when he comes out, he is going to be on the fresher softs. The fresher softs. Oh my god, I need a new set of teeth. And Walters is in the pits as well. So where is this going to put him as they come out of turn 1? Obviously he's going to be on those fresh softs, and he's still 2.5 seconds down the road. 4 seconds now. I wish this timing screen had sorted itself out. But obviously now Malone looks like he's fueled to the end. And if he can make these softs last, you know, Hat, Maris and Raiden are not slow drivers by any stretch of the imagination. But it looks like Malone has paid an absolute blinder. Let's see what everybody else is up to. So Raiden is potentially now going to get into the slipstream range of Hat Maris, which is obviously going to help him out absolutely tons. Although Raiden is on the slightly older tyre now. It's interesting to see that the fuel levels are quite different now. VitG nearly 5 seconds back from Raiden. Athens 6 seconds back from VitG. Getting very slidey out of that corner there and getting a little bit of contact with Hansa. As Athens gets rid of his penalty and drops back down to 7th, which means... Excuse me, I nearly forgot to breathe then. Hansa and Racer Tay are now in front of Athens. Walters is quite a bit back. It looks like Racer Tay is going to want to try and put a move on. Very feisty on the back of Hansa's car there. I don't see it being much longer before Racer Tay gets going and puts a move on. And here we go, potentially here. He does now have the inside line, but that is going to turn to the outside line. So let's see if we can get... Oh, it looks like he's already done it. He's done it into the chicane. So Hansa now dropping down to 6th. And I do believe Athens just got reset. Maybe he cut the corner a little bit too much. Alright, Raiden still not able to catch up to Hat Maris. But going through Eau Rouge and Radion there, he has picked up the pace a little bit. And he has potentially... Yeah, he's got the toe now, so he's going to be coming down. He's nearly got it down to a second just on that one straight. So for Raiden now, this is all about staying in that slipstream with Hat Maris and not letting Hat get that too far down the road. You've got a couple of decent straights coming up. And obviously this is going to potentially help him catch Malone. Malone, who is now nearly 4 seconds down the road. I've said it once, I've said it at least 3 times in this race. Malone has played an absolute blinder. So, Hansa now being dropped as Racer Tay pulls away a little bit. Not a lot, but enough. We need to keep an eye on Raiden and Matt Harris here. This is pretty much the closest race. It's Athens. Athens is in last. I'm guessing that's from him scrubbing his penalty earlier on. Right, so Raiden now has got it down to 8 tenths. As Athens is putting Walters under a nice little bit of pressure there. A little wide in that corner, but, you know, dirty air being what it is. Right, so we're at the halfway point now, about to start lap 9. And your order at the end of lap 8 is Malone from Hat Maris, Raiden, Vitamin G, Hansa, Racer Tay, Walters and Athens. And I get the feeling Athens isn't going to wait much longer, as Walters goes really wide there, completely outbrakes himself, and is actually going into the pits. Not sure why. Okay, wasn't expecting that. Alright, nope, not playing that game again. Alright, Malone now with nearly 4.5 second lead on everybody else. Stewards will be wanting to have a look at that car. Alright, Raiden has actually got past Hat Maris. I missed that watching Walters pull into the pits. It's absolutely wonderful. So, Raiden now in front of Hat Maris. Let's see if he can actually pull away. It is going to be quite a hard task. And looking at Raiden's fuel, he is going to have to do at least one more stop, I think. I'm hoping that he's played an absolute blinder. But at this point, I just don't know. Right, so Hat Maris now chasing back down Raiden, who not too long ago took him and took the second place off him. Raiden looks squirrely coming out that corner there, but Hat Maris seems to have followed him a little bit and he's losing a little bit of ground. Right, Hansa 10 seconds behind now, and Racer Tay better part of 2 seconds behind him. Athens pretty much in the middle of no man's land at the moment, and Walters is just sat in the pits, which I find annoying. Okay, you don't want to rage quit, but don't just sit in the pits. Right, so as it stands at the moment, not a lot really happening. Alright, Raiden and Walter... Well, Raiden is in the pits. So he is now potentially going to be fueling for the end of the race. Right, I'm confused now. Oh, he is just taking fuel on. So, new set of boots and fuel. So, Raiden back out in 6th. Obviously now he's got a full tank, new set of boots, he's going to be on a charge. Wasn't sure whether or not anybody would be doing the 2-stopper as he goes very wide there. He may pick up a half-second penalty for that. But the field is stretched. Alright, Malone with nearly a 7-second lead now over Hat Maris, who's being pursued by Vitamin G at the moment. And Hansa Racer Tay looks like he's just about getting back into the slipstream of Hansa, which is unfortunate because Hansa seems to have quite a lot of fuel and Racer Tay does not. Right, Raiden is going to be on a permanent charge now. This is basically the sprint series for him. And Athens with a 2.5-second penalty. That must have been the corner cut of the ages, my friend. Don't forget to serve it. Right, Athens does need to scrub this penalty. And like I'm pretty sure he should have done that by now. Alright, Malone now in the pits for a new set of boots. So this... Oh, everybody's coming into the pits for their last pit stop. Has Raiden done the undercut? Yep, races in. Raiden has potentially played a bit of a blinder here. We need to see where Malone comes out. It looks like they're all coming out now. So Hansa in 1st at the moment, Malone in 2nd, Raiden potentially nicking 3rd here from Matt Harris, or even Hat Maris. Right, so Hansa with... Oh, okay, no, Hansa's not in 1st. He's 1st on track, but he's not 1st in the race because he's going to, I believe, have to come in at some point. So Malone still technically with a 6-second lead. Of course, that 6-second could potentially be the winning distance here, because I'm not sure whether or not Hansa is going to be able to stretch his fuel to the end of the race. So he's potentially got at least one more lap, or the end of this lap, to come in, grab some fuel. Maybe he can stretch it for one more lap after this, but I'm not sure. But Raiden basically on a charge now, with Hat Maris right behind him. Did Hat come in for fuel as well? He did, he came in for fuel and tyres. So this is potentially your third and fourth finishers, or second and third, depending when Hansa comes in for his fuel. Which, yeah, he's going to have to do. He's not going to be able to eke another lap out, I don't think. So Malone will, once again at the end of this lap, take the lead with almost a 7-second lead as well. In fact, it's now gone over 7 seconds. Walters is still in the pits. Everybody's about to start lap 8. No, they're not. They're about to start lap 11 as Hansa goes into the pits. So Malone is about to start lap 11 and Walters came into the pits on lap 7. Now, I think somebody needs to have a word with this young gentleman, because that is not how you finish a race. You don't do 7 laps and then sit in the pits. Alright, so Malone absolutely destroying the competition, unless he has an absolutely insane incident. He may get a penalty for that. He did look like all 4 tyres were off as he came through Radion there. Let's just stay with him, see what happens. Nope, he's got away with it. Lucky you. Right, so Hat Maris is now chasing down Raiden. They've got a nice 5-second buffer as well. Hat Maris going purple there in Sector 1. Alright, looks like Vit G is going to be all on his Todd. Bless him, I think he's in a bit of a no man's land. Indeed he is. And then we've got Racer Tay from Hansa, and that's starting to spice up a little bit as well. Racer Tay is looking, well, as his name basically says, looking very racy. So these two fellas obviously been in the pits recently. Ooh, Hansa with a lot more fuel. But is he doing that so that he can just absolutely thrash the car and keep in front of Racer Tay for the rest of the race? There is absolutely no point whatsoever in going and having a look at Malone, because unless he has an accident, he's basically trumped everybody. So we'll stick with these two, because we know that Racer is capable of putting in a decent lap. And he's obviously just sitting now waiting for the perfect opportunity. Maybe trying to force Hansa into a little bit of a mistake so he can capitalise. Yeah, it looks... Trying to look at the mini-map, it does look like Raiden is holding off Hat Maris. But Racer Tay is literally putting the squeeze on to Hansa now. Hansa just able to hold on to it. There's obviously a big braking zone coming up as well into the chicane as Racer Tay takes the outside line. It is going to be the king of the last breakers, and it looks like Hansa's been able to hold him off for another lap. But of course, all that can change as they come down towards turn 1. That was a little confusing. There's a little bit of a jump there. Yeah, it's because Walters is in the pits. It's making the scoreboard jump a little bit. I do apologise for that. Alright, so this is the race at the moment. As Athens looks like he's just coming into turn 1. Everybody getting nice and clean through there now. We'll jump forward and see what's happening with Hat Maris and Raiden. It looks like, yep, Raiden has pulled away enough to break the slipstream. All he needs to do now is stay focused, keep his head down. It's very doubtful that he's going to be able to catch Malone in the 3.5 laps that are left. So we'll stick with Racete, who has finally got past Hansa. Completely missed that. I'm not happy at all. Luckily we do have replay. And here it is down into Lecombe. Just outbreaks Hansa and then gets the inside for the exit on Malmedy. So Racete in 5th place. Already starting to put a bit of distance between him and Hansa. So not a lot that's going to happen with 3.5 laps. He's not going to be able to get in touch with Vit unless something drastic happens, and hopefully that doesn't happen. So the racing now is between these two fellas. Basically, this is the closest race on the track at the moment. Everybody else, as Racete is really pulling away from Hansa there. Athens 25 seconds back now. You must be having a shocking race. Right, what? Oh, Raiden's coming to the pits again? I'm a little confused by this strategy now. This is I think it's the 3rd time he's been in the pits. So I don't know whether or not he's going to need to take fuel on, but he's definitely going to be taking tyres. He is taking a little bit of fuel. Oh dear. So Raiden didn't take enough fuel on the previous pit stop. But the advantage for that is he does now have a really fresh set of tyres to finish the last 3 laps of this race. So he's going to have to absolutely get everything going now. It looks like he's got a bit of damage to the front right hand side of his car as well. So he's going to have to go on a full charge now. Very wide on the exit there. Vitamin G, 4.5 seconds down the road. Raiden's getting very heavy on the throttle coming out of those corners. But what can he do with 2.5 laps? And indeed, what can any of them do with 2.5 laps? Hansa still not able to get back in with Racete. Vitamin G still, bless him, in no man's land. Oh, sorry, punched my mic then. Didn't mean to do that. Well, obviously I didn't mean to do that, but... Right, so how much can Raiden cut out of Vitamin G before the end of the race now? We know Raiden's a quick driver, but Vit is a very quick driver as well. He does appear to be catching Hat Maris just a little bit. But Raiden's going to be on those fresh tyres now. And there's Raiden just coming into the back of the shot there. He's going to be seeing Vit G just in front of him. He's going to be going full chat everywhere on this track now. He's definitely not going to be waiting for anyone. He's going to want that podium spot. But he does only have 2 laps to do it in, so he's going to have to get the lead out and absolutely chase down these guys. Malone is nearly... he's that far ahead, he's nearly the full distance of the back straight, so he's basically got the Kemmel straight in between him and second place. Vit is actually taking slices out of Matt Harris here as he goes purple at the end of sector 1. But Raiden has also chopped some time out of him. It's not going to be enough. Unless there's a massive mistake, Raiden is not going to be able to get anywhere near Vit G. Alright, Athens in the pits. this is essentially, really, the only race on track at the moment. Because Hansa and Racer Tay just aren't close enough to each other. Yeah, Athens is a country mile. I mean, Raiden is doing a busting job, he really is. He is taking time out of it, but there's not enough time left, I don't think, for him to be able to do anything, as he goes purple through Sector 2. Alright, by the looks of it, there goes Malone through the final chicane, coming up to start the final lap. So this could potentially be... Oh, as Raiden gets fastest lap there with the 2:16.077. There is a potential, really, for this to be the final layout, with Malone in first, Matt Harris in second, Vitt in third, Raiden in fourth, Racer in fifth, Hansa in sixth, Athens in seven, and from my point of view, MJ Walters, who has not finished the race. So he, I believe, will go down as a DNF. Raiden on an absolute charge now, but this, I think, is going to be a case of too little too late. In saying that, though, he has taken nearly a second out of it over the last lap distance, so this could be a fight at the end, depending on what Vitt is having to do. I mean, how much fuel does Vitt have in that car? Oh, Vitt may very well have played a blinder here. He's got such a light car now. Let's hope that there's enough fuel in that car to get him to the end of the race, and I'm sure there will be. But Raiden giving him a no quarter whatsoever, chasing him down. They are now close enough to be definitely in the same screenshot. As Raiden goes fast again. So, this could potentially be another fast lap for Raiden. And he's nearly got Vitt. He's nearly got Vitt into that suction zone. It's absolutely crazy how much time he's taken out of Vitt G over the last couple of laps. Raiden is literally driving out of his socks. He's basically got no fuel left, but he's coming through the final chicane, so it doesn't really matter. And there you go, that is basically well done to everybody in the top four. Poor Athens. What can I say? He's had a bit of a shocking race. Somebody there doing donuts just after the start-finish line. So we'll stay with Athens as he comes round. Excuse me, my throat went dry then. Round Blanchimont, down to the final chicane for the last time. Shame there was only 8 runners in the race. Technically 7 for the last half. As Athens turns the last corner and comes across the line in 7th place. And now we're going to have to wait 45 seconds because somebody's sat in the pits. If I'm being brutally honest, I would rather people quit than sit in the pits. Right, so anyway, congratulations to Malone. He basically led this from the outset and has had an absolutely awesome race. Can't fault the lad. What fuel did he finish on? Oh, he basically finished on an empty tank. You know, I mean, the lads played a blinder. As you can see from the screen, they're 12.5 seconds in front. So there's your confirmation. And we will go into race results just to be sure. So pole position for Malone, fastest lap for Raiden. Well done to Malone. That was an absolutely epic race. Alright, so we'll get confirmation of the race results. Malone in first place, Hat Maris in second, Vit in third, Raiden in fourth, Racete in fifth, Hansa in sixth, and Athens in seventh. I'm not counting Walters because he only finished 7 laps. Wow. There you go. Right, so thanks for watching, guys. We will be back again in a week's time, where we'll be at the Maggiore circuit, the Maggiore GP circuit, where we'll be having a sprint race of 6 laps and a feature race of 18. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to go now because I've got to get ready for another league. I believe I'm doing multi-class later on this afternoon. So take care, guys. Like, subscribe, do all that YouTuber stuff, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care, all. Bye-bye now. Oh, and let's not forget, by the way, there is a little... what's a polite way of putting this? There is going to be a little video coming out soon, because I will be starting a new race series. But yeah, we'll get to that later on. So yeah, take care, guys. Love you all. Bye bye now.